Hi everybody, Jeff Schneider. Once again, Happy New Year. We're talking about negotiating this week because as salespeople and executives and business owners, we often find ourselves in negotiations. You know, one of the negotiations that I sometimes help people with is salespeople who are looking for a promotion or a raise. That's certainly a negotiation. The principle today is field position. We're in January, which means it's football playoff time, and field position is a football concept. It basically says that teams tend to win when they start with superior field position. If you're always starting on your 35, 40, 45 yard line, you're probably going to win. If you're always starting on your 15, your 20 yard line, you're probably going to lose. So the place where we start a negotiation is very critical. Years ago, I was selling my car. It was a Passat. It had 120,000 miles on it. I knew what it was worth, about 6,000 Kelley Blue Book. I put on Craigslist for 5,000. I had a guy show up within 3 minutes in my neighborhood. And he offered me $3,000 in cash. He fanned it out, the cash, the $100 bills like a Vegas dealer. And I said, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "It's cash." I said, "Get out of here." Kind of laughed at him. It may seem like a funny example, but often the opening volley in a negotiation sets the field position for the rest of the negotiation. Famous negotiator wrote a book called Never Split the Difference, and he called it that because this is what most salespeople do when they're negotiating. The person says, "I'll give you a 0.7x," and they said, "I need 0.9x." They said, "Nothing other than 0.8x. How about 0.85? They split the difference. Don't do that. You need to establish what you're comfortable accepting in a negotiation. And if the initial offer is one that you find unacceptable, you have to find a way to be able to express skepticism, doubt, and the fact that this is not going to work. I've seen a lot of people go, "Well, maybe, let me see if I..." See, that's a cardinal error. You can't signal that there's a maybe, a possibility that this might work when the initial volley is out of bounds unacceptable. So you have to know ahead of time what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. Hey, thanks for watching today. If you feel like you could use some help with sales or negotiating or some other aspect of selling, send me a message. Let's have a conversation. First one's free. Good selling.